So today we're going to talk about a method to multiply called the partial product method. When I see this name, I think of the word product, and that means that I know that I need to multiply. Because when you find a product, you find an answer to a multiplication problem. I also want you to look at the word partial. A key word in here is part. So we're going to find parts of products and then bring them all together to multiply. So I'm going to show you guys a cool way that I like to multiply. We're going to do 57 times 86. Something that I notice a lot of you guys do is that you don't multiply each of these digits by these digits. Okay? So when we multiply, we need to make sure we multiply our 5 times our 8 and our 5 times our 6. Right now, someone's feeling a little left out. The person that's feeling left out is the number 7. 7 is also going to be multiplied by the 8, and 7 also needs to be multiplied by the 6. Now, the 5 goes with the 8 and the 5 goes with the 6. The 7 goes with the 8 and the 7 goes with the 6. That's called the distributive property. So I'm going to show you how we can use the partial product ways to get our total product here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw something that I like to call the window. Some teachers call it the box to do this. But I'm basically going to do it like this. Okay? Now I'm going to decompose. I'm going to break this number 57 into 50 and 7. Hopefully that makes sense. 57, 57. I keep 57 together because it's part of the same number, 57. Now I'm going to take 86 and we're going to break it up into 86. Okay? So all we've done so far is decompose 57 into 50 and 7 and 86 into 80 and 6. Now what needs to happen is our first distributing. 5 to the 8. And we have to remember, this is not 5 and 8. This is 50 and 80. So when I do 5 times 8, I'm thinking 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So I'm going to write down the number 40 in here. But this is not just 8 times 5, it's 80 times 50. So I have to put on 2 more zeros because this number is 10 times bigger and this number is 10 times bigger. So this number right here becomes 4,000. Now we're going to do the 50 times the 80, check. And now we're going to do the 50 times the 6. 50 times 6. So when I do this one, I'm saying, well, what's 5 times 6? That makes 30. And then it's not just 5 times 6, it's 50. So I'm going to put an extra 0 right here. Because this is 5 tens, and this has to be 30 tens. So just like these two zeros are like this, 1, 2, this one is going to have 1 extra 0. But you might be saying, wait, Miss Tate, why does this have a 0 and that has a 0? That's because 8 times 5 is already 40, and 6 times 5 is already 30. That's why that happens, okay? Now, once again, someone's feeling left out. The number that's feeling left out is the number 7. So we're going to do 7 times the 8 and 7 times the 6. 7 times 8 is going to go right here because this is where they would meet. 7 times 8 is 56. But I'm missing something. I'm missing this 0 because it's not just 8, it's 80. So this has to become 506D. Now the final numbers we need to multiply are the 7 times the 6. 7 times 6 is 42. And then I'm thinking, do I need to put a 0 here? Well, there's no 0 on this number and there's no 0 on this number. I don't actually have to put a 0. Now I just have 42. So now I'm thinking, okay, well I have 4 separate products, 4 partial products. So what I want to do is I want to bring them all together. Luckily, this method shows us and reminds us that we have to do that because if you look carefully, you'll see a plus sign right down the middle. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to add all these 4 products together. Right now I have 4, so it's kind of like a fraction. So I have 4 parts, so I want to add 4,000 plus 560. So I'm going to add it across like this. I can do 4,000 plus 560, and that makes 4,560. Some of you are good enough at math that you could have just added that right up in your head because there's a bunch of zeros here. That's these two. Check, check. Now I want to add 342. Well, because these are zeros, it's just going to be 342. 342. Now I have this partial product, wha-cha, and I have this partial product, wha-cha. What should I do with these halves? I need to add them together to get the total product. So now we're going to add it up, In the ones column, that's a 2. In the tens column, that's a 10. So I'm going to regroup. When I have 10 tens, that makes 100. That makes 900, 4,902. I can go back and make sure I got it. 8 times 5 is 40, 2 extra zeros. 8 times 7 is 56, 1 0. 6 times 5 is 30 with an extra 0. 6 times 7 is 42. These are both 1, so there's no 0 needed. The total product is 4,902. And that's the partial product method.